Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back was released in 1980 and was directed by Irvin Kishner. Luke meets Master Yoda and he expands on his journey of becoming a Jedi. I know that might not be like a best summarization of the plot, but I kind of feel it's a film that you kind of have to see to know the story. I enjoyed A New Hope and I thought it was a pretty good film on rewatch. And like with the first one, I was requested by Marvel Fanboy to review this. Like I said, I've been requested to do every single one of these. So, Empire Strikes Back. What do I think of it? I think it's an improvement. Despite a few issues, I think it's actually a very good sequel. I think it improves everything over the original. I think the story, it's more personal, it feels more character based, and it feels more like a character journey than a story, if you get me. Like, it feels it wants to focus more on the main character a lot more than the actual story. But I think that's a good idea. It expands on the character development, which I think is very good. I think they went darker, they went more personal, and it just felt like a better made story altogether. It was just better written, better paced, and better action too. I thought the action sequences in this film were pretty good. There isn't a lot of action until like the third act, but you know, for the action we do get is really, really good. So yeah, the story is pretty good. It's a big improvement and feels like a genuine continuation. It really is a part two of a three-part story. There's more effects in CGI that come into play, and some of them are so obvious that it's so old and so dated and so old-fashioned where it's kind of funny, but you know, you have to remember, I don't think a movie from 1980 will have the greatest effects today. Luke has grown in this film as he's getting older and more mature. The character development was fantastic, and it really felt like a two-parter of a three-part story. Master Yoda is good, although I wish he was in it a lot more as he was just there to train Luke and I wish he just had more screen time, but he was still a pretty decent character. Is it just me though, or are the other characters kind of pushed to the sideline? I'm not saying that's a bad thing as the movie wants to focus more on Luke, but I think there could have been just a little more development with the other characters. For what we get is good, don't get me wrong, they do get their development. I just maybe wish they given us maybe just slightly more moments with them, you know, interacting. But for what we get is good, and the sequel does do what a sequel should do. Introduce new characters, it expands the world, and I think this film did a great job of it, of world building, which I think is a big improvement. And Darth Vader I thought was an improvement as well. He's more menacing and he felt more of a build up. Like there I can tell that they're building this character up for something really, really big. And the music is absolutely fantastic. And it did bring out one of the most iconic lines in cinema history.
I am your father. No! No!
So yeah, I actually think this is a big improvement over the first film. Overall, The Empire Strikes Back is better than the first film and is a great sequel. It's darker and is more personal story. I have a few issues, but it's still a strong movie. I'm going to be giving Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back a very strong 9 out of 10. That's my review for The Empire Strikes Back. Stay tuned for my next review for the third movie, The Return of the Jedi. And until then, guys, skadoosh everyone and take care.